In closing, to what do you attribute the welcoming and encouragement to return to help shepherd Newtown and the school district through what are still these extremely hazardous, perhaps, or maybe a better word is, uh, you know, waters of unknown depth or consequence?
And I would add to your description that I would say, based upon my 30 years, 20 of which were in Newtown as superintendent of schools, as I alluded to earlier, uh, I find that there are far more challenges confronting the school system than any other time I've certainly been here. I think they are correlated to the future success and what we are and what we will become as a school system. And as far as the context of me coming back, listen, I think familiarity is important to people. I like to have an opportunity to renew acquaintances with people that I've known over time. I'd like to think that many people at least, remember that I attach great importance to being candid, and if you want to know what I think, you're going to get a straightforward presentation. And I hope I have some credibility so that when I reach some judgments and share them with the town, that people will pause and at least reflect upon those, and know that it's driven by one simple thing. I love the town and I love the school system, and the only agenda I have is, can I help? How do I help? And if I can, everybody on December 13th, and by the way, I never would have come back for this position, John, if this terrible event didn't happen, but everybody on the 14th of December in Newtown was saying, how can I help? It was a compelling need we all had, and I've been given an answer as to how I can help. It's a bit of a mission that I welcome. I'm going into this with my eyes wide open. I understand that it's going to be different than any other thing I've done, but I'm quite confident with the friendship, the understanding, and where possible the support of the people who live in town, the people who work in the school system, that we're going to be quite successful, and there's no reason to assume that the future shouldn't, our approach to the future should be an optimistic one. And I hope for many, many years that our interactions with one another is based upon understanding and compassion.
Based on that comment, if you had one thing to say to every person going into that budget booth next Tuesday, May 14th, for the second round budget, what would be the thought you would leave them with?
I think the budget is a bit higher than it normally is because we're trying to make up for things which were not in the budget in terms of technology or maintenance projects. And I think it's important for people to understand, and I'm just saying, I haven't talked with the board, but in glancing at the budget, I think with the $1.5 million reduction that's been made to the requested increase, that anything that was new in the budget is under serious jeopardy, and certainly the vast majority of the new items I think are gone. I don't believe that you get multiple chances to keep new things in the budget. I think the referendum is here for a purpose, and I always felt it was important for everybody, including school supporters, to understand this. Obviously, you want to minimize the impact on kids, and I think, frankly, the Newtown school system perhaps is a victim of its own success in trying to shield children from the increases, the decreases to requested increases. Listen, when I was here, I always said 80% of the problems we face don't require any additional funds. It just require better decision making. And I always said, you don't throw money at problems. That's not how you solve them. But when you have a frugal school system, you do reach a level at which you need to maintain it. I think we're there. I think it's vital the budget be passed. I don't know the public really understands. This is the prime hiring season. It's the prime hiring season for the resignations and retirements that we're getting in. If you're hiring in June, or if you're hiring in July, frankly, you're at a disadvantage with school systems that are hiring in April or May. If you're planning for next year and what you're going to undertake and what you're going to order, or projects you're doing with the buildings this summer, that needs to be understood and executed now. So some of this is just about good management practices. So my hope would be that people understand when I say that with everything that the school system is facing, and that frankly I'm looking at confronting as the interim superintendent of schools, I'd like to put the budget behind me. And the promise I'll make is one I've made before. The budget will be transparent. If we're fortunate enough to accumulate a balance or a free balance because of circumstances in an account, that money will be noted publicly. It will be discussed publicly. And the other bodies in town, such as the Board of Finance and the Legislative Council, will be aware and have ample opportunity for comment. So this is about trust. This is about us embracing each other as people who live and work in Newtown. And I think if we can keep that in mind and realize that even people who oppose the budget, this isn't about good people or bad people. This is about decisions that are difficult under the best of circumstances because of what people can afford and they can't. I'm just telling you, we will be very good shepherds of what the public chooses to give us.